Alright guys, Supreme Kami here, and today we are going to be doing the per usual should you guys summon or not. So this time around we have ourselves the Extreme Limited Banner and Nu Gundam and then Amuro Ray. So I'm just going to get this straight with you guys. If you guys are planning to summon on this unit, given the fact that how this unit is laid out, if you guys only have enough to pull one singular copy, or if you guys are only able to pull just within your budget, just get one copy of it, then don't pull in this unit, because this is a unit at core is a healer. So if you are really looking for some healer for a team, you can definitely try out the SR Gym, which is an event exclusive. And then there's also the summonable SR Meptis, and there is also the OG Rare Gym. Alright, so those are three good options. Not that they're excellent options, but if you really in dire need of healer, those are probably the way to go, because I feel like summoning on this Nu Gundam without actually going deep into the transcendent skill is kind of a waste, because you're essentially doing a healer job. The skill 1 and skill 2 pretty much does nothing off, as far as like relatively high percentage of damage increase is not up there. So with that said, I feel like if you do really need a healer, because this unit is don't go for this one. Alright, that's just, I would definitely say more hard chips, or not hard chips, diamond for maybe Sazabi or something else, which should be Sazabi. I mean, like, I hope it's coming out next week, following how the JP schedule is, because like the Nu Gundam and Sazabi are kind of treated as like your Christmas and New Year's banner, I feel like. So if they don't release it next week, I don't know, man. It's just that they're not following the JP script. That's all I can say. Let's kind of quickly go over the stats for the Nu Gundam. So it's pretty much what you expect for a generic unit, so nothing more than that. Skill 1 or the EXU, the most important thing is that you are getting a squad heal. Heals all life up to 22%, starting out at 14% at EX skill level 1. Transcendent skill, even just look at it, this screams power, more power. Because generally speaking, skill 1 and skill 2 does not really offer too much. The first and second line are pretty much dedicated into buffing the fifth funnel, being the third weapon, increase the accuracy by 50%, so that's pretty nice, and also increase beam damage by 70%. And more than that, we are getting another 5.8% up to 10 times, which is 58% for the next 20 seconds if you consistently do damage. So that's kind of like a nice way for them to kind of bump up the damage. So in total, for the third weapon, you are at least able to get up to 128% at maximum capacity. So that's pretty nice. But what else is nice? You gotta probably spend a lot of diamond rolling for it, or unless you guys are really lucky, then definitely more power to you. But if you are kind of like creeping down the pipeline of like, alright, should I start dropping some money into buying some diamonds to max out this guy right here? No, do not do that. Because eventually we will get better healers, we will get better like all round, like being a more utility based, like healing, offering additional tangible stuff that is more useful. This is not. They went ahead and want to make this guy a more, I guess, let's say a more DPS, being a dedicated healer, which I think they messed up right there. They could have focused more on the utility base, which I feel like that would be more important than being just another generic DPS, right? Because DPS units, we will have a lot of those. All right, there's not going to be short of that, but I feel like to be a good support, being able to offer like good tangible stuff to your other ally is really rare. So I feel like they definitely dropped the ball initially. So I don't know, what do you want me to say? And then skill 1 and skill 2 pretty generic. Skill 1, right there, after 30 seconds you gain a whopping 24% to beam damage. So this is a screaming, not for arena. Do not use me in arena, because you probably, as far as the global meta goes, any arena matches may not exceed more than 30 seconds, so that is going to be a waste. This is meant for being like a raid, or any other battle, like any harder content that really requires a extended battle time, then this unit is going to be pretty helpful. Skill 2, unlock funnel, and then when battle begins, increase beam damage by an additional 13%. So I wish that is higher. Alright, I wish that was higher, but I know this is a pretty old unit that was released. Like one of these, no, this is a second extremely limited banner for JP. Yeah, so obviously it wasn't as good as it could have been. The third line right there is whenever EXQ is activated for 10 seconds, increase beam damage resistance by 19%. So that's gonna be like your supposed defense utility. So I think ultimately when you are building this new Gundam, for module wise or even for the unit enhancement, I feel like you shouldn't focus too much on, let's say, pure power. I feel like you might want to go for like the body specifically. You might want to go for like a split of, I don't know, HP and defense because of this right there. I feel like it. And this is primarily a unit that is not meant to be a DPS anyways, because when we take a look at the different weapons, like main weapon, additional weapon, third weapon, they're not screaming high power level right at the bat, like compared to some other unit you see. So in terms of the power wise, it's gonna be struggling a little bit anyway. So that's why I feel like for the unit enhancement, I would not really go for optimizing the damage route, because this unit is not doing that. Plain simple. But as far as Fifana, I guess in a way, don't let that fool you, because you are doing 3 hits 6 times. So as far as Fifano, it will be pretty powerful at its core. So you don't really have to worry about that. But other than that, that's pretty much what I have for Nu Gundam. I'm not. I feel like I've been hyping up the Nu Gundam for the longest. I mean, like, I guess I am apologize. I would like to apologize on that, because it does kind of create a sense like, oh, this unit is kind of like a must summon or whatnot. But ultimately, it's more like the other way around. I'm hyped for the unit itself because it's a Nu Gundam. All right. I think Nu Gundam itself, for me personally, it kind of has like this high factor to it. So whenever they release like Unicorn, Nu Gundam, or like any other, like, you know, I guess like the main character unit, I'm all for that. So I think that portion of it kind of took it out of context, where like, oh, this is a really good Nu Gundam, which is in theory is not. This is one of the first Nu Gundam ever released. So it's not the best. We will definitely get better ones down the pipeline, which is we just have to wait. But for now, if you do want to skip, you don't want to go for this one, I totally understand, because it's not as good as it is. All right. Amuro Ray, if you guys are not summoning for the Nu Gundam, there really isn't a point to go for Amuro either. Amuro is pretty generic. First skill is skill 1 is pretty much the same as you can see from Camille, from the Zeta. But what makes Zeta and Camille works a lot better is the fact that Zeta provide EXQ gauge recovery, where this one does not. So being able to activate the first 114% is going to take a little bit. Alright, it's not going to come by easy. So with that said, I feel like this may not even be the best possible pilot, because we need something that is on demand, and this right here is not on demand at all. Right. I mean, at the least you can still get another 46%, because it just happen. You just have to use it on a generic unit. But other than that, trying to get this one is going to be crazy, because even reloading that initial time takes a hot minute. So kind of unfortunate. Skill 2 is going to be buffing more. I would like to say the other stuff, buffing reaction, so your ability to either evade or guard is going to be higher now, and then increasing accuracy, that is always welcome. So skill 2 is definitely pretty phenomenal. But for skill 1 specifically, that very first line, I feel like it does not really work well with this Nu Gundam. That is just kind of my take on it, because even the EX skill, well, not the EX skill, the Transcendent skill on the Nu Gundam does not offer a initial EXQ like gauge fill up by 50% on the spot. So that was, to me, was kind of like, that's not looking too good. So that's just unfortunate. So overall, Nu Gundam is a skip, Armor is a skip, kind of unfortunate. But let's kind of go over what we are getting supposedly on next week's scheduling. So there I have it. I pull up both Sazabi and Nu Gundam in game, so you guys can just kind of get like a side-by-side comparison. I'm just gonna say this right now: Sazabi is a DPS unit. It's gonna scream and damage throughout the kit, so definitely completely opposite from Nu Gundam. And just on the other side, blue element unit right now is a very predominant element to be running. So running red right now is a really bad timing, just in general. So I feel like summoning for Nu Gundam, if you do put this into arena, you are definitely gonna be running into a lot of situations where you are consistently being sniped down by the Hagashiki. So that's not going to be fun. You don't want to use a unit and then be like, oh, I got sniped off from because, well, the global release schedule is not scripted at all. It's they're just releasing whatever they feel like, and that's why Nu Gundam is not good right now. So kind of unfortunate. But besides that, let's kind of go over the kit real quick. We can kind of start off by, I guess, the value, the status at level 100. I just want to quickly show you guys that they are pretty much the same, so there isn't any differences if you will. So pretty much any generic unit, they are the same, right? But coming out to the actual skill itself, I'm just gonna highlight the few key points where the Sazabi is more like a truly DPS, and it's gonna be a lot more useful. I don't know, I feel like the Sazabi is a lot more modernized compared to the Nu Gundam. First of all, EX skill, you are gaining an additional beam damage taken, like the enemy is going to take more by 60%. That is huge, alright? This is a pretty sizable buff. On top of that, you're also going to be increasing damage by ally for 26% as well for 20 seconds. That is a very hefty, like if you look at it early game on, this is really powerful, alright? That's sick. As far as the transcendent skill, the first two aspects are pretty much the same. So increased accuracy, increased beam attack. Third attack, or the third line, is where it's gonna get a little bit crazy now. We are gonna increase evasion rate 2.3% for 20 seconds when dealing damage stackable up to 20 times. At full capacity, at full operational status, you are able to get up to 46%. So that is nice. That is crazy. And this one increased EX skill gauge by 6% when evading. So these two works really well together. I don't know what to tell you guys. That's really nice. At the start of the battle, increased beam damage by 22%. Skill 2, release not Finfuno, just release funnel. And then increase an additional 10% evasion rate. So boom, bam, what is that? 56%. And keep that in mind, you can also increase it via your modules and your actual body piece. So Sazabi is not only a damage dealer, it's also going to be able to do a lot of shenanigans being dodging. So that is fun. Besides just that, you also increase beam damage by another 17% for 10 seconds. Stacks up to 5 times when evading. Holy, what is this? Like, this is already, just reading off of it, I wanna say it's like really modernized already. It's doing a lot, like a lot of utility, like this right here, this right there. This is good. All right, this is good. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys. So I feel like if you're looking for a longevity purpose, I feel like Sazabi might have an edge over Nu Gundam just for it. I feel like for healing, this is just not good enough. Like, we need more, alright? We need more utility on skill 1, skill 2, not increased damage, because if you are gonna make this unit a healer, you gotta do something else with this. You just can't. This is not enough, alright? This right here does not make it a good healer. That simple as that. But I think that's pretty much what I do want to quickly cover. How about this? Let's cover this unit as well. This is a new feature, the Engage, so that's gonna be like the game exclusive. This is a the good old Engage 0, which we have a copy of right now in game. Not this version, but the other iteration. This one is an amazing support healer, however you name it. It does a lot. It's definitely doing things that, you know, maybe Sazabi or not Sazabi, Nu Gundam could be doing, but you know, this one does it better. I feel like this one is screaming a little bit more, you know, being its own DPS as well, but at the same time, it's it's a little better. In some form or fashion, it does what Nu Gundam does, but kind of improves upon that, if you will. Even just for another quick example, we have the Aerials Reborn, rebuild, not reborn, what the heck, rebuild. This one is pretty much the same thing. It heals and etc. And you know, it does better things than Nu Gundam could do as far as the damage dealing portion itself. So why did it mess up so badly on this one? Like, especially the transcendent skill, just the skill 1 and skill 2 in general. Like, if they were to make this unit a healer, like a more support type centric, I don't know why they couldn't pack more support type skill. I just don't get it. But other than that, I feel like you guys can definitely do whatever you guys gotta do that makes you guys comfortable as far as like going either or this banner or just saving up in general. But yeah, I feel like just one copy of Nu Gundam, me personally have tried out, it's just not good enough. So but other than that, I don't know, for me personally, I don't know if I'm gonna go back in to do more pulling to max it out so I can show you guys how it is. But I think that's gonna be, I'm just gonna leave it as of right now. So you guys can definitely let me know, are you guys still gonna be summoning, or if you guys are gonna be waiting in the near future, or just gonna be skipping these two banners in general.